Imagine holding a simple-looking 1991 D1 cent USA coin in your hand and discovering that what appears to be ordinary pocket change could actually be hiding a jaw-dropping secret, because this coin has been valued at an astonishing $2 million, making it one of the most unbelievable stories in numismatic history, and that is exactly why collectors, treasure hunters, and ordinary people are buzzing about this tiny piece of copper which has suddenly turned into a symbol of wealth and rarity. So, before you toss that penny aside or let it slip unnoticed out of your wallet, let's dive into the fascinating reasons why a 1991 D1 cent could be worth millions, and why you should like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more coin value secrets, because the story of this coin isn't just about money, it's about how history, minting errors, rarity, and collector demand can collide to transform something small into something monumental. And if you're sitting there wondering what makes this particular penny so special, let me tell you that the Denver Mint produced millions of 1-cent coins in 1991, but among them only a handful carry rare characteristics that push their value sky high, such as doubled dies, striking errors, off-center designs, planchet mistakes, and even unique colorations caused by environmental conditions or minting flaws, which make collectors lose their minds trying to own one. And just imagine the thrill of spotting such a penny in circulation, the same way people dream of winning the lottery. But here it's about keeping your eyes open for that elusive date and mint mark combination, because while most 1991 D pennies are only worth a cent or maybe slightly more in uncirculated condition, the rare ones can break records, setting auctions on fire and fetching millions. And think about the historical context too, because 1991 was a year of economic shifts, global events, and cultural moments, yet here we are decades later realizing that a small copper plated zinc coin from that very year could eclipse the financial stories of that era by becoming a multi-million-dollar artifact. And the incredible part is that the value isn't just based on the coin's age, but rather the mistakes or unique features it carries, making it an accidental masterpiece of history. And collectors love accidents because they create stories, legends, and exclusivity in a market where everyone craves what only a few can own. So whether it's a misaligned die, a broad strike, or even a penny struck on the wrong planchet, each of these details could turn a 1991 D penny into the holy grail of coin collecting. And you might wonder, how often do such coins get discovered? And the truth is that many are still out there, hidden in jars, drawers, and boxes of forgotten change, waiting for someone curious enough to notice them, which means it could even be you. And that's why coin enthusiasts emphasize the importance of checking your change, because a single overlooked penny could rewrite your financial destiny. And let's not forget the psychological value, because owning a multi-million-dollar penny isn't just about wealth, it's about prestige, legacy, and the power of holding history in your hand. And people love stories where small overlooked things suddenly become treasures. So when news breaks of someone selling a rare 1991 D penny for $2 million, it sparks not only curiosity, but also a cultural craze where everyone starts digging through their coins, hoping lightning will strike twice. And this is how trends start. This is how viral movements happen. And this is why the story of the 1991 D penny has captured so much attention, because it combines mystery, rarity, history, and wealth into one. And the deeper you go into its details, the more fascinating it becomes, because experts explain that even the tiniest differences in strike can create huge variations in value, which means attention to detail can literally be worth millions. And it's also why coin grading services play such a huge role, because professional authentication and grading turn suspicions into certainty and a coin into an asset that can shake the market. So picture the adrenaline rush of sending in what you thought was a penny worth 1 cent, only to have it come back certified at a multi-million-dollar grade. And now auction houses, private collectors, and investors are all lining up, trying to outbid one another for a chance to own what has now become a piece of American financial history. And isn't it wild to think that a 1991 D penny, struck by machines in the Denver Mint over 30 years ago, could become a story this massive today? And this just shows that history is always alive, waiting to surprise us through the things we least expect. And so the next time you glance at your spare change, don't be too quick to dismiss it, because you never know what treasures lie within. And that's why you should like, share, and subscribe for more incredible coin stories, because who knows, the next viral coin that could change your life forever might already be in your pocket. And that brings us to the unforgettable reminder that the 1991 D1 USA coin with a face value of only a penny has been recorded in history with a staggering worth of $2 million, making it one of the biggest money surprises the world has ever seen and an everlasting legend in numismatic history. Next, 1983 1-cent USA coin. Imagine the shock when a coin collector or even an ordinary person sifting through spare change suddenly discovers that a seemingly regular 1983 no-mint mark USA 1-cent coin can actually be worth a mind-blowing $4 million. Because while most people see pennies as almost worthless, in reality this particular coin carries one of the greatest secrets in numismatic history and has risen to become a legendary treasure among collectors. And what makes it so captivating is that it combines historical context, rarity, minting errors, material differences, and collector demand all rolled into one tiny copper-plated zinc coin that originally had just a face value of 1 cent, yet today stands in the spotlight as one of the most expensive pennies ever recorded. So before you toss aside any 1983 penny you come across, understand that you could be letting go of a life-changing fortune. And this is exactly why enthusiasts, collectors, investors, and even ordinary families are going through their jars of coins and dusty drawers because the 1983 no-mint mark penny has become a viral sensation with the power to turn an everyday person into an overnight millionaire. And when you look deeper into its background, you realize how unusual and exciting this coin truly is, because in 1982 the United States Mint changed the composition of the Lincoln cent from primarily copper to copper-plated zinc in order to cut costs since copper prices were rising. But during this transition year and the following year, mix-ups and minting mistakes occurred that created some rare varieties which today are worth astronomical sums. And one of the most famous among them is the 1983 no-mint mark penny struck in Philadelphia that shows dramatic errors such as being struck on a copper planchet instead of the intended zinc, or displaying doubling on the date and lettering, or even having striking issues like off-center production, die cracks, and broad strikes, all of which multiply its rarity and desirability in the collector's market. And imagine holding such a coin, realizing that the small round piece you once ignored actually carries the ability to change your destiny with a single auction. And this is what keeps the coin world alive: the thrill of discovery, the stories of ordinary people uncovering treasures in unexpected places, and the fire that burns within collectors who are willing to spend millions to secure a piece of history. And let's not forget that the 1983 penny without a mint mark is a product of the Philadelphia Mint, where coins traditionally carried no mint mark until later years. And that detail adds to its intrigue, because while millions of pennies were minted there, only a fraction show these priceless errors and unique traits, making each discovery monumental. And auction records confirm that whenever one of these extraordinary coins surfaces, it sets off bidding wars that skyrocket its value far beyond what anyone might have imagined, with $4 million being a benchmark that proves how much power rarity and error hold in shaping a coin's destiny. And think about the story value too, because when you tell someone you own a 1983 penny worth millions, it sparks disbelief, curiosity, and admiration, showing how something so ordinary can carry an extraordinary tale. And in a world where people crave rarity, uniqueness, and stories that stand apart, this coin fulfills all those desires perfectly. Because it isn't just metal, it's history, chance, and fortune all rolled into one. And when experts explain the details, they highlight how transitional errors, double dies, wrong planchets, and even minor details like die deterioration can change everything. So the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth $4 million can literally be found in microscopic details. And this is why grading services play such a crucial role. Because having a professional authenticate and grade your coin gives certainty to buyers and transforms your coin from a curiosity into a verified investment piece that billionaires, museums, and high-end collectors will line up to bid on. And imagine the rush of adrenaline when a grading company sends your coin back labeled as one of the rarest 1983 pennies in history, instantly making you a millionaire. And what's so fascinating about coins like these is that they bridge the past and the present. Because 1983 was a year full of cultural shifts, technological changes, and political moments, yet decades later the focus has turned to a tiny piece of metal that survived from that era and now tells a completely different story, one about rarity, mistakes, and fortune, and this is exactly why the world is so captivated by the 1983 no-mint mark penny, because it shows how small accidents can create massive legends, and the craze has only grown as more people hear about it, sparking viral trends where everyone starts checking their spare change, digging through their piggy banks, and even asking relatives if they have old jars of coins lying around, because nobody wants to miss out on the chance of discovering a $4 million fortune hiding in plain sight. And think about it from a psychological perspective too, because the story of the penny symbolizes hope and possibility, showing that treasure can appear in the most unexpected forms. And that narrative makes the coin not just valuable in monetary terms but also culturally significant as a story of luck, chance, and fortune. And let's not forget the investment side either, because collectors and investors know that as time passes, rare coins only become more desirable and their prices rise higher, which means owning a 1983 no-mint mark penny is not only about prestige and history but also about securing an appreciating asset that could set auction records for years to come. And that explains why people are willing to pay millions, because they know that rarity plus demand equals value that can only grow. And in the case of the 1983 penny, the unique combination of transitional era history, composition shift, and no-mint mark identity make it a perfect storm for record-breaking value. So imagine the ripple effects when news spreads of someone selling one for $4 million. Suddenly media headlines explode, social media goes viral, and people across the world start searching their change, fueling a new wave of treasure hunting. And this is why the 1983 no-mint mark USA 1-cent coin is not just money, it's a movement, a legend, and a life-changing opportunity waiting to be discovered. And so the next time you see a 1983 penny with no-mint mark, don't overlook it, study it, check for doubling, weigh it for copper versus zinc, and if you find something extraordinary, you may be holding the key to a $4 million fortune. And this unforgettable story reminds us that even the smallest coin in your pocket can hold the biggest surprises in history. And that is why the 1983 no-mint mark 1 cent has earned its place as one of the greatest numismatic treasures of all time, worth $4 million in the world today.